Welcome back to another video by Not For The Weak Minded. My name's Keith Sanders, and today this video is going to be about the universe, our place within it, and how everything we've been told from birth for generations is based on false principles. So, I'm not sure if you're aware, but science is, in essence, experiments that are repeatable and observable, right? That prove the same result time and time again. So in the case of the mapping of the known universe, trying to prove the Big Bang theory as matter of fact, they actually used sound technology to map the known universe from low Earth orbit, because Bill Nye said it's an enclosed system and it has to be. So now that we got that away, these three on the screen are the tests. The first one being Kobe, and forgive me, I can't remember the dates of these so-called satellites in low Earth orbit, but they mapped, nevertheless, the known universe to try and prove the Big Bang theory correct, and they didn't like the results of the first one. So they did it again with, well, better instruments, same results as the first one. Didn't like that either, did they? So they did it again with Planck. And again, it showed the same results. So that's three different tests, three results the same. Are you getting my drift? That is what science is, yeah? Doing experiments that then go and show the same result. Not pseudoscience, which is actually based on hypothetical theories going off, actually, in our case today, on mathematical tangents that have no basis upon reality. Nikola Tesla. If you want to understand the universe, you must think in terms of energy, vibration, power 3, 6, and 9, which is actually to do with understanding sacred geometry, cymatics, and the perfect circle. Sound, vibration in water creates light. This is a principle which you must understand called sonoluminescence. Space being water, the stars being frequency or soul energy. Anyway, I'm going off on one here. Point being, we are going to talk about this subject. Now, if you already got a hissy fit that I'm telling you the Big Bang's wrong and you don't want to believe it, and these are actually scientific theories to try and prove it right, and you still don't want to believe it, that's on you, yeah? It's not my problem that you don't want to listen to scientific studies that actually prove the opposite result, right? And has done since the first experiments to prove the Earth to be in motion, i.e. Ayres failure and the Michelson-Morley experiments. Earth is stationary. Okay. Moving on to the next one. This is a blueprint I've done. Just, I'm sure you've seen it before, but trying to understand, sacred geometry, the universe, how everything fits in, and the mandala as well being part of this understanding. It's a perfect circle. So when people say round, it really does annoy me because, the Earth's round, right? Well, round could also mean circle, yeah? Like, for example, if you actually read and understand the globe spheroid oblate model, right? You'll understand that the equator is called the Great Circle, yeah? And you've got the Antarctic circle, and also the Arctic Circle. Then you've also got Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, which is the circle, and all the parallels going, because it's how they map the Earth. Yeah, they use the perfect circle to map the Earth. Okay, tell you it's a spheroid oblate, which is two different shapes. We've been over this, right? They've wrapped the perfect circle from the northern hemisphere and just wrapped it around into the globe. The water doesn't fall off a flat Earth, right? Because the Earth isn't flat. Land masses keep water in, right? Because it always sits level. And if Earth's 70% water, then their globe model, mathematically, i.e., the curvature of the Earth, 8 inches per mile squared, doesn't exist. And we observe the same thing because the horizon is horizontal. Yeah, ships don't go over the curve of the Earth because you can't see the curve from where you're standing anyway, even if it did exist. Secondly, you can bring the boat back into view with a high-powered camera, so it doesn't go over any such thing. It just goes out of your perspective. Okay. So moving on. So what I'm trying to show you now is my next blueprint, and what I've done is I've taken this last one here. Okay, get ready because it's a Buick. You're gonna love it. Not the people that fucking hate the truth, though. Sorry, swearing, but they're gonna hate it, and this is why. Guess what? They called this sacred alignment of Earth and the universe, right? With Earth at the center. We'll get to that in a minute. All right. The axis of evil. It's good. They're very very tasteful with their names. So I took this one and I made it into, instead of a spheroid oblate, right? I made it into the perfect circle oval. I made it into the circle. So I put that into this blueprint, okay? And I turned this from green into black, and then I added, excuse me, this map to the sensor. This is Urbano Monte's map from the 1500s. Don't think so. Yeah, Rome, pinnacle of civilization almost. It's incredible, this map. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend finding a copy. Going on to David Rumsey, I think it's called, Art Gallery, and you can look at it in detail in digitally on there. Anyway, so just to crack on with what I'm on about, where am I to now? Here, this is my blueprint. Yeah, albeit you can't really see it because it didn't turn out as exactly as I wanted, because I wanted these to be, so zoom in, you can see the lines. Yeah, it's much clearer in person, but at the same time it can still be more defined, but at the same time it is what it is, right? It's just an example of using their data to represent where we live. Okay, our place is at the center of the known universe, which they've dubbed the axis of evil, the sacred alignment, shall I say, of Earth and space. And they don't ever want to tell you these things. They don't ever want to show you the truth. All they want to do is carry on using the lies to convince you that you're not in a sacred place, that you're not special, right? That this place is insignificant, that there are other places to go when there ain't. Because we'll get to this in a bit. The planets ain't what you think. When you go and look for a camera, for a telescope, and actually look at the stars, and the wandering stars, right, as opposed to the fixed stars, Okay, the constellations and all that. We'll get into in a minute. Um, you'll say that it doesn't look anything like what NASA, which is basically Nazis, the Nazis, eugenics, murderers, want to show you. I mean, goodness sake. Werner von Braun bombed the shit out of this country and you trust him. Think about it, for goodness sake. Hello. So, back into the video. I'm going to go back through this one more time, just in case you didn't quite get what I was trying to get at here. This is my blueprint of, from my blueprint of the known universe and our place within it. And I will say why I used this map. Because currently, our current map doesn't have landmass Hyperborea at the center, which therefore, right, gives it's not accurate to where it can be, which is actually why I use this map, because the actual North Pole is in the map. We have landmass Hyperborea, yeah, Mount Meru, magnetic North Pole is on the map where it isn't today. It's because through the making of the current model, they've hidden land masses, yeah. So they tell us often, if you watch a lot of programming that and documentaries and history things, that mixing all together, that God rests at the center of the earth, right? And yet we today have no concept of really what that means, right? Because they've omitted that landmass and magnetic North Pole from the center of the earth. They tell you about it, but then you're not allowed to go there. You're not allowed to go there. We're not allowed to go past it here. We're not allowed to go past, I don't know, was it the 66th parallel, is it? Towards the Arctic Circle, right? And then if this map is from the 1500s, trying to change the subjects, okay, slightly, right? What happened to make the landmass green to now where we have ice walls and all the ice covering Antarctic? We still have land masses that are green and animals, and some people see dinosaurs there, and giants and all the other things that do show you that are on this map, yeah. But then you got to ask, if this is true to history, then what happened between 1500s and let's say the 1800s, due to the mud floods being around that time, that actually caused all the devastation and the ice to form? Just a question, right? Because obviously it doesn't show it on the map here. So something happened in 500 odd years that created that scenario. It's either A, the map's older, and well, let's just face facts, right? Something happened to cause it in the first place, and I've already hypothesized, because of the evidence from the ancient past, and because of what the Nazis were up to and how they created the first V1 and V2 rockets. Okay, reading the ancient manuscripts of in India, the Vedic creation texts, how to build a rocket in the first place. So if history does repeat itself, then at one point perhaps there was a nuclear war which resulted in a nuclear winter. Hence now we've got all these melted buildings around the world, and our places are, well, still under ice from some kind of nuclear winter. Bear in mind that this place is much bigger, that people alongside Admiral Byrd and before him have said that there is landmass beyond Antarctica, right? Which is absolutely impossible on a fucking globe, since it's meant to be the bottom of the fucking earth. How are they meant to go further, right? If you already marked the middle of the bottom, huh? Right? It makes much more sense if, the earth looks like this from above, right? Geocentric ringed earth. I've got more to show you and tell you about what I've been up to, and oh dear, much more to say. Obviously, there's so much to say. It's unreal, to be honest, and I do apologise for not having any content. I just feel like I'm going to be repeating myself a lot, and the stuff that's really important you can never really say on this channel, on this platform, more so because of censorship in the last 3 years. It's just unreal, the censorship. So anyway, I took this one, my blueprint there, and their blueprint, yeah, and I mixed it to make this blueprint, yeah, which is my current theory about, you know, the shape of the universe, right? Because it has to be enclosed as well. If it's not forever expanding and it does rotate around an axis, it must be enclosed as well. Okay. So this is it. This is our place within the universe. But what is really the universe? What is this really? What does this data really represent? Yeah, food for thought, isn't it? So we're getting into it. As you may know, if you have been following me over the last few years, I've been over this several times, in fact, that their own studies proved Big Bang wrong, Copernican. Well, in that last video, Copernican was still right because he didn't have it going all over the place at different speeds. He just had it as geocentric ring of the sun at the center, which could still be a truth, still, right? But not spinning a globe. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, if everything is based on projection technology, let's say, then that singular point at the center could be, you know, where is all coming from. Anyway, I digress. But never mind, it's all part of a new understanding and hypothesis about where we live, right? Using truth. So Earth may be the center of the universe. No, it is. The Sky Survey and satellite data confirm that the Copernican model of the universe may be faulty. No, it is faulty, right? Undoubtedly, and they admit it themselves. I've done video, I'll show you now. See, number one, Planck satellite confirms WMAP findings. Universe is not Copernican. Right. I will link the videos in the description box and every article which we're going on for you to read. Okay, if you decide to. If you want to carry on believing a lie, that's on you. Yeah? Really. So another video taken from a documentary called The Principle, or Journey to the Center of the Universe, which basically discusses the whole entire history of cosmology and how fraudulent it is, right? Etc. Einstein and the Aether, and we'll get into that as well. Cosmological principles are out by 1 with 120 zeros after it, making it the biggest mismatch in scientific history, right? Not my words. Miku Katsu's words. If you don't believe me, click on the link, watch the video. I'm just telling you what they're saying, yeah? That currently, Big Bang model is out by 120, is out by a factor of 120. It's hardly right. I mean, go ask why then. Why is that? So, just to share the article from the first one, look. Second one? No, none of them. Different one. Planck satellite confirms WMAP findings. No, it was that one. Universe not Copernican. Yeah? You can read it yourself if you feel like it. Astronomers find evidence of special direction in space. Could the cosmos have a point? 2011, yeah? You're so far behind what's technology, to speaking, I mean, so far behind in terms of what's going on around you as well. But, people got trust in the matrix of deception and evil. It's unbelievable. And when you start learning all that, the truth that, you know, the earth is not what they tell you. Yeah, it's not a globe. You're not spinning in a forever expanding universe, right? You wake up, man. You become a light being in this world. They don't want that. They don't want you to find your soul at all. They don't want you to find the truth. They don't want you to act upon the truth. And in fact, I've done a video on this, which is already, it's got taken down, but I will do another one soon, very soon, explaining what the hell's going to happen in the next, 7 years, 8 years, 7 years, between 21. I mean, remember, if you have been watching my content, you remember that video? I tried to explain what's going to happen between 2021 and 2030. You know, they're going to make our lives miserable to the point where, you know, no, the normalization of all the normalization of all these insane things. Yeah, we need to talk about 2025 to 2028. Yeah, the Spurs pandemic. I mean, getting ready for more lockdowns. It's, yeah. I mean, I'm going off topic here. I'm meant to be talking about this one topic, and I need to sit down in front of the camera, as I'm saying, and speak the truth about what the hell's gonna happen when they decide to turn on the Internet of Things and try to connect man to machine through light. And yet most people have no idea that's exactly what they're up to. So distracted, so easily distracted. Right? Submarine and all that. Recently. Shake my head. Astronomers find evidence of special direction in space. Right? Well, they give you a fake image. Yeah? That's not real, right? That's not real. Again, you have to read between the lines. Once you get a foundation based on facts, not theories, actually see with your eyes the stars and the planets, and then go, hang on, that's nothing like they said to us. But then, and know that it's there rotating around a stationary Earth. You've already won, man. You've done the battle. You've done the hardest part of all the brainwashing they've ever done to you, right? Learning this and actually having it as a foundation, right? You've won the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll start to see everything. You'll see how everything's inverted. Yeah? How they're emulating creation in their own image using technology. I mean, yeah, okay, that's very deep. Very, very deep. But you'll see the inversion of creation, you know, and how they're trying to destroy creation. Carbon zero, right, means no carbon left on the earth. That's terraforming talk. That's, we're gonna kill everything on earth talk. Right? Alien for what? Like an alien invasion? Because some species can't live on the surface, so they have to change the atmosphere. Sounds like a movie, doesn't it? Sounds like many movies, in fact. The universe lines up along the axis of evil. Coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence that they called the sacred alignment, right? Their own experiments to prove the Big Bang, which proved them wrong, right? That actually proved the Earth to have a sacred alignment at the, you know, the Earth to be stationary at the center of the known universe and to have a sacred alignment with it, the axis of evil. Think about it. They hate the truth. I mean, there's the truth in your plain sight, right? Sacred alignment. They just called it the axis of evil. Didn't like their own experiments. Going to carry waffling on and teaching people crap. Absolutely. Don't like their own results. Shit, where's that gone? They don't like their own results, and they never have. Yeah, if it doesn't satisfy, right, them, I can't read all of this article, but if you are a subscriber, you can to News Scientist, but I refuse. Yeah, cosmologists call it the axis of evil. Spotted in 2005 in the cosmic microwave background, the all-pervading afterglow of the no, it didn't happen Big Bang. The axis was peculiar alignment of features where... Okay, see what I mean? See how they word this shit? The whole thing, experiment, proves the Big Bang. But they got the audacity to say it's real still, right? So the axis was a peculiar alignment of features where it would have expected nothing but randomness. Yes, because nothing... Redshift is bollocks, right? Everything is not forever expanding. The stars don't go in all different directions at different speeds. We're not going at fucking 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Goodness sake. Everything you see is CGI, yeah? A lot of it's... You got to know how they operate their devices. So they... Even in, like, they show you a real image and a fake image. A real image and a fake image. A real image which has been distorted to look like a globe. Or, yeah, everything you see on the television and these things, you must question, okay? Artist renditions of these things. So anyway, there's a lot of information out there about the axis of evil and cosmology and how it's an anomaly, because according to Wiki, and these people just think that their own experiments mean nothing and want to carry on believing a lie, but at the same time they'll tell you currently it's mathematically out by 120 zeros, factor of 120. Well, something's wrong then. Are you going to change that? Nah. Why? Because it's been used as a tool to brainwash the masses into oblivion. That's why. Okay, no problem, carry on. The scientific evidence against the Big Bang. And again, you think there's not enough evidence. Like, there's plenty of it, right? I'm not going to go through it. It's up to you, the viewer. If you already know this information, well done, thank you. If you like my content, please comment and like, share. If you don't believe anything I'm saying, this is for you. Solely for you. I'm not doing this for my benefit. I'm doing this for your benefit. I'm putting it all together so you don't fucking have to spend a decade or more, like I did, trying to do so. Piecing it together in your mind, asking question after question after question, when all I'm trying to do is give you a foundation based on facts, right? The Earth is stationary. Their own experiments proved it. They called the sacred alignment of the universe, which isn't forever expanding, right? The axis of evil. That's a fact. These are facts. So if the Big Bang wasn't the beginning, what was it? And we've been through this in my last video, hypotheses, etc. This all boils down to, really, if you want to understand if space is water or not. Now they tell you all the time, space comes from water, blah de la de la, ice crystals, and do, right? None of it's real, but yet they're telling you space is water still. So what's the difference? Fixed stars are all those objects in the sky that do not appear to move in relation to each other, but still seem to collectively move across the sky. So the constellations, yeah, they're the fixed stars. The term fixed was used in ancient times to set them apart from the wandering stars, which were those bodies in the sky that did change position, i.e. the planets, right? And the known universe. You get me? Right, so there's two cycles there we need to discuss: the constellation cycle and the cycle of the known universe. How does it go around us? Torus fields, etc. Mean anything to you? I mean, for those that know, absolutely, 100%. But for those that don't, it's a fundamental principle, isn't it? To understand and digest and understand how that relates to magnetism as well. And as I've discussed in the start of the video, water, sound, and what that creates when it's together. Different colors, different frequencies, the whole theory of the color of sound, okay? It's all needed to truly understand where you live and your place within it and yourself, because your body, your temple, let's say, right, your sacred temple, works in almost exactly the same principle, right, as space does and everything around us. Yeah, so you're 70% water, so forth, right? You you are a light being, proven by photon cameras in dark rooms in Japan, for example. Yeah, where they get people that are on a higher level of consciousness, and they emit photons from their body, which means they emit white light from their body, and they captured this in photography using photon camera, right? So that's a matter of fact that we transmit and receive white light. We are, when we merge with the truth, okay? We are the rainbow, yeah? Your chakras are the rainbow. And going back to the inversionness of it, the LGBT flag today is an inversion of the chakra system, yeah? With they got the root chakra on the top, where it should be down on the bottom, and they've got the high level purple color, yeah, royalty. Oh dear, that's the subject and a half, isn't it? To do with kingship descending from the heavens. Fuck me, how many subjects? Anyway, yeah, I've gone off track there, haven't I? Apologies. I do apologise. Space is water. If you don't know about the definition and a brief history of the word planet, there's an article for you to understand. You know, wandering star means planet, but really, it means a wandering star. It means a fucking light in the sky. Yeah, there's a lot of these so-called planets, right? When you go and look at actually at real images, right? They look nothing like what you've been shown. Venus, Mars. I mean, none of them are land. You can't land on them. Can't land on a light, right? Even more so, many of you haven't seen the thing I'm about to say, and it's gonna sound out there for those that certainly haven't seen it and have no clue what I'm about to say. But some of you might have seen the stars be transforming into like beings and stuff, right? Like you can see faces of like alien beings and in the stars. Also, some of you may have seen the video of a giant hand coming down and touching one of the stars. Have you seen that? If you haven't, go look for it. It will blow your mind. Because it goes into my concept of, well, we're living under the sea of another world, right? The world of the Titans. And they created this place under that sea, right? And we're like grasshoppers to them, right? So, and they'll be back. When God returns, the whole entire earth will shake, yeah? They imprisoned some kind of Titan being here. And have you seen that video on the Euphrates? Yeah, drying up. And the sounds coming out with the archaeologists digging. Chains and all. Chains and like roaring of a beast. Interesting. Kind of reminds me of the game Neo. Yeah. Yeah, where there's a chained beast and you got, yeah, he's chained there for like millennia or whatever. But he's got to be let out once in a while. The feast, because he's an immortal, you see. Anyway, we're talking about so much crap, Keith. let's get back to this subject. Crikey. So yeah, this is for you. Wandering stars definition. Polaris is a star that they've used for navigation over the last 500 odd years, right? Because it's fixed, it doesn't move. And I just showed you the definition of fixed. Yeah. So in astronomy, there is two different types of stars. There's the fixed stars, and then there's the ones that aren't fixed. The wandering stars, which is the planets, and then you've got the other stars, so-called suns in the universe, right? And the galaxies, etc. Right. So Polaris, the North Star, is part of the Little Dipper. But as you can see from this actual image, right? If you don't understand the model that you worship, you're going to look at this image and go, it means nothing, right? In reality, if you look at this image, it means geocentric. Yeah, it means that the stars come back time and time again to the same spots, right? And that it's not forever expanding. And if it was, then we won't be able to capture this image because it would everything would be going in all these different directions, and yet everything seems to rotate around a singular point, right? Should make you question, right? That I don't think you've been told the truth. Like what you're seeing at now is the truth, yeah, and what you think you know is, and what you've been shown and told isn't the truth, right? You do not live. I've just told you in their own experiments. Do not live in a universe that's forever expanding, right? Don't. Full stop. Like this is the things you have to get out of your head, and I know from my own experiences. Well, if that's not the case, what's the answers then? Well, that's on you, isn't it? Right? If you want to learn, I'm trying. Like, all I'm trying to do is show the truth. I can help you. Literally, I'm trying to help you build a foundation on facts, not theories. Right? I know it's not easy. It does take time to process this information, and it, my passion comes off as anger sometimes. You know, but a lot of the time. In fact, I do get very antsy with people and they're not really understanding simplistic arguments. Like, simply putting it, the properties of water prove we don't live on a fucking globe, right? That's a fact. But, you know, people just, I don't know. I'm just frustrated with how things are going and how much information's out there for people, but how little they care for it. And even when you point the people in the right direction, um, people you care about, strangers, they don't really give a shit. You know, they don't. There's not like I don't know what's more important going on in these people's lives, like for them just to not stop and think for a moment. You know, maybe he's telling the truth. So anyway, there we go. The night sky, sacred geometry, so Vedic knowledge in modern times, swastika, how the sacred geometry symbology can be used for good and evil, and how that's exactly what we see today in regards to right in front of our faces these signs and symbols. I fully believe that there are still good aspects to these secret societies, still good people fighting in high places across the earth against these agendas. But I also know that this Luciferian New Age one world agenda is it's all encompassing. Yeah, and a lot of the people at the top, they're just playing the part of the light. You know, they're not really telling you the entire truth or the, like at all really, but it seems like they are. Anyway, just be careful is what I'm saying. There's people out there that people are gonna have trust in because they seem to be telling them the truth right now. But you're gonna get stabbed in the back by these people, I guarantee it. Like you should only have trust in what you know to be the truth, right? And does it back up the the evidence that you've collected to prove that whatever you're trying to prove, right? You got to be able to change your mind about things too. You know, do you know how many times I've been wrong about many different subjects, about many different things, but then you ask yourself how many times have I been right? And I guarantee you, it's over the years, there's been more times I've been right now than I've been wrong. Only because I know the system we're living in. The system is so corrupt. It's unbelievable how wow they people don't know recent history it seems, or they've forgotten, and it only takes about 3 generations for things to really change. And look what's happened really in the last decade. I mean, we've gone with having like all these women rights, which is fair. Absolutely, you should have fair pay for doing what they're doing a man's job or whatever they're doing in life. Yeah, fair. That's fair. Equal pay, right? They've got their rights, and now all of a sudden, what's happening? It's gone in reverse again, isn't it? Where we've got all these transgender people competing in fucking women games, winning them, smashing them in the face in the rings, and all sorts of shit, and it's being allowed, right? I was like, I don't. If you want to be a transgender, yeah, by all means, but don't fucking push it onto the kids, right, in schools. And this is part of my frustration because this is all about Mystery Babylon. It's all designed. I tried to tell you, I think back in 2017, that by 2020, the entire education system in this country is going to change towards the United Nations doctrine, and how evil this doctrine is, and how it relates to this one world fucking culture that they're trying to create. Right? And how it has to do with sodomites um, and sadly paedophilia, normalization. Yeah, this talk could easily get my fucking video taken down. Anyway, right, back to the topic. Einstein killed the Aether, but now the idea is back to save relativity. 2019, right? If you know about this, you'll know, particularly if you watch The Principle or Journey to the Center of the Universe, that yeah, he did add the Aether into the equation, and he got told to take it out. However, it wasn't him that made the equation; it was his wife. He's a fraud, and he's all over the telly as a fucking false idol, promoting smart meters for goodness sake. Yeah, every home's gonna have a smart meter by 2025. Oh my days! And everyone's like, "Oh, it's Albert Einstein. He's promoting it. I better get it." Idolatry, man. Like people worship these false idols, and they have no idea that they're so fake. This missus made all the work. So anyway, if you want to know more, what is Aether? It's a hypothetical substance supposed to occupy all space, postulated to account for the propagation of electromagnetic radiation through space. Right? Just shown you mathematically, right? It's out by 120 zeros, making it the biggest mismatch in scientific history. They're admitting that they kind of need the Aether back in the equation to make it better, to make it actually more accurate, right? Which means that space is actually occupied by some kind of substance. Huh. I wonder what that substance could be. But they tell you space comes from water. Water comes from space. Remember that? Water comes from space. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Asteroids, comets, bollocks. Don't exist. Rockets do, though. So the new origin of universe model pours water on a Big Bang theory. Good, that one, isn't it? Clever. Very, very clever. A new model in which the cosmos is filled with a quantum fluid suggests that there was no Big Bang and could explain the origins of two mysterious components of the universe. Which is... Do, 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 do. Oh, look, yeah. To understand the origin of the universe, they used this corrected equation to trace the behaviour of the fluid back through time. Surprisingly, they found that it did not converge into a singularity. Instead, the universe appears to have existed forever, although it was smaller in the past and never quite crunched down to nothing. Hmm. How many domes do we have? How many domes? Anyway, if you want to read, if you're the like-minded person like myself to want to read all of that, you can. But nevertheless, I'm just showing you titles, having a little rant, coming back with more truth that you probably can't handle if you've got this far in my video anyway, that is. Oh, and by the way, if Simon Dan's listening, you're a prick. Fucking prick. Space is an Ocean by Commander Sam J. Tangretti, US Navy, 1999. Space is an ocean, and I'm not speaking metaphorically. Ocean defines both the entire body of salt water that covers approximately 72% of the Earth's surface and any great expanse. Early civilizations believed that the ocean and the stars above were linked inextricably. In the eight, yes, they are. It's called the acts of evil and all that. Space is water and all that. Water comes from space, but there's has to be an ether, yeah, because we don't live on a Big Bang. Bollocks, fucking spin a universe, right? So in the age of exploration, the ocean represented the ultimate unknown, whose guideposts were the heavens. If you carry out, you want to read that, you're more than welcome to. But I'm just telling you that I didn't pluck these ideas out of nowhere. Yeah, I got it from ancient texts, just like they're saying. Ancient depictions of the earth and from modern understandings, modern experiments, and modern observations. Okay? These things do my nutting. So, are we living underwater? Daily Mail, yeah? Just throwing it out there, like back in 2014. Are we living underwater? Researchers believe the universe might be a liquid superfluid. Hmm. Oh dear. New research suggests space-time might be a type of ultra-cool fluid called water. Known as a superfluid, this phase of matter possesses unusual qualities. It would provide a medium for waves and photons to travel like sound in air. But for it to exist, the researchers say it would need a viscosity of 0. This could provide us with a new theory of quantum gravity. Is space empty? Laddie, laddie, la. It's meant to be a vacuum, right? You're not meant to have sound through space, okay? So, sound, apparently, according to your shitty model, does not travel at all in space. The vacuum of outer space essentially has 0 air because sound is just vibrating air, space. Air. Space has no air to vibrate and therefore no sound. If you were sitting in a spaceship and another spaceship explodes, you would hear nothing. Don't you need a medium to propel that spaceship though? Don't you? I think you do. Like air. Can't have a ship in a vacuum. Guess what will happen? It will implode. Anti-gravity, bollocks. Sound can leap across a vacuum after all. 2010. So what is it, NASA? Yeah, is it sound doesn't travel through a vacuum, right? Is space isn't a vacuum, right? Let's put it out there, yeah. I'm telling you now, space is water. It has an ether, right? Scientific fact, right? And because of that, sound can travel through it, right? Which is why now they're going, sound can leap across the vacuum after all. No, it can. It's either A, it can, or either B, it can. And you're telling me that nothing could travel in a vacuum. Full stop. That's what you want to believe. That's what I'm going to believe, yeah? And now you're telling me it can? What? Make your mind up. Spooky space sounds. Hang on, NASA. I thought you said you couldn't hear fucking sounds in space because there's a fucking vacuum. Also think you can't have a pressure system next to a vacuum either because that will implode as well, won't it? So therefore, yeah, you don't live on a spinning globe, do you? Spinning spheroid oblate. That's continually hurtling through that nonsense crap universe that doesn't exist. So NASA's going soar into the depths of our universe. Galactic spacecraft roam the cosmos, snapping images of celestial wonders. Bullshit. Some spacecraft have instruments capable of capturing radio emissions. When scientists convert those to sound, the results are eerie to hear. So, well, radio waves can travel through no medium, though. Should we Google that? Can radio waves travel through a vacuum? There you go. These changing fields from electromagnetic waves differ from mechanical waves in that they do not require a medium to propagate. So you don't need a medium to listen to radio waves. Okay. Through a vacuum. Okay. There we go. So travel through a vacuum. There we go. It's known, right? Just to show you, right? Fair enough. They're saying that you can listen to radio frequencies and translate into sounds, right? Sounds of space. Bear in mind that it's a load of bollocks, right? That they show you. Maybe these are something actually based on truth. Have a listen. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if you think that these things that they've captured, the sounds, are actually genuinely the sounds of the so-called wandering stars. Of lights in the heavens. So going back, everything you think you know, right, has to be erased. And if anything you read is using that thing that you've just erased, then you know in your own mind not to trust it and that it's wrong. Okay? This is why it's important that you yourself must build a foundation based on facts. There's nothing else. How can I put it? No one's going to do this for you but yourself, right? Really. You might like reading this article, yeah? Dark matter, dark energy, and the sound of the Big Bang. Right? It's all bollocks. The whole lot of it. Because it's all based on a concept they've proven wrong. Yeah, so everything here that they've read is lies. Right? So you got to know this, right? However, at the same time, they tell you bits of truth. So it's picking out the truth within the lies, right? Is part of understanding how they operate, for one, yeah? But then understanding the lies with a foundation is basically how you just go, no, none of that applies because it's based on that lie. You see what I'm saying? Or you hear what I'm saying? Even you can't. if it's based on a lie, anything that's off it is still going to be a lie. Doesn't matter how fanciful it is, right? It's still based on a lie. So unless you're building a foundation on reality, which is the Earth is stationary, the fixed stars, the constellations, are rotate around us, and so does the universe, which has a sacred alignment with us, and we are at the center of it, right? And if you don't do that, you're going nowhere. You're going to go round and round and round and round and round. I'm just telling you how it is. Yeah, so you get that in your head, right? It's no point. Honestly, like you'll be reading this, and what are you going to take from it, other than load of nonsense that makes no fucking no sense upon our actual observable reality. it's I'm tired of this war. I really am, and it's barely started. It really has. So if you like my video, please come over and check out my rest of the content on my channel. I am going to be doing more videos now. I said that before, but I've been going through some relationship problems, and I've had to go back to work for my financial problems, and also, let's face it, mental problems, because of what's going on. It's hard to speak these things. Let's face it, yeah. Like when I speak to people, even though they're very intelligent, and I know they could get it, sometimes I feel like I may as well talk to the wall. Yeah, like I'm speaking in a completely different language. I'm saying words they've never heard, and if they don't research, they're never going to understand. Sonoluminescence and toroidal fields, and sacred geometry and cymatics and Tartaria, free energy, Rife, Tesla. I mean, it's just tip of the iceberg, isn't it? Titanic. I mean, the conspiracies are galore, but screw the conspiracies, right? The truth is what matters. Yes, this is the greatest. This is the greatest conspiracy ever, because yes, they've conspired against all of us since we've been born to do exactly what they're doing right now. Yeah, and if we don't get them out, and it's game over. Let's face it. If we don't stop the Internet of Things from doing what they want to do with it, it's game over, right? In the end, soon we're gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to leave Mystery Babylon. We're gonna have to come together as a community, right, of like-minded people to actually build back better. In truth, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna try and take us out, but we will survive, and we will thrive. We're not taking their shit no more. I mean, unbelievable evil is taking over the earth right now, plotting and scheming to take your soul to hell, and worse, to take your energy and transfer it into a quantum augmented virtual reality, an emulation of the globe, which is basically the flat earth map anyway. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's seriously clever what they've done. You gotta admire it at the same time. You've gotta hate it. So please share, like, and subscribe. I'll show you one more time. Boom. Hope you understand now that I'm not madman. I'm trying to help. That this is the truth, Partly. Because basically this time period doesn't exist anymore, does it? This epoch. We're in a different epoch. This is the epoch when giants were more around than us. and we do walk under the footsteps of giants. So, and they'll be back. They're already here. They're still here, and they'll be back. Um, Giant aliens. I mean, Titan beings. Yeah. Again, people ain't got a clue what's coming, but these things are way down the line. We got a lot to get through before that stuff. You got to survive genocide of civilization collapse, right? Another pandemic, which is basically going to get much worse. The laws. Well, let's just face it. They're bringing the laws into place so that they can lock anyone up for anything, right? You said this, lock them up. That's a hate speech. The thought police. You haven't taken your vaccine, lock them up. You fucking, whatever it is. They're just gonna do it under a medical emergency as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these emergency laws that they've put in play are going to be used to cattle us, and cull us. Scary thought, man, that so many people are literally sleepwalking into an apocalypse. In both senses, literally, they are sleepwalking. Literally, they're in the dark. They're living in the dark, thinking they're living in the golden age of man, when they're living in the dark ages. Oh dear. Yeah. Don't know how much more I can say now in this video. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching and listening. Till the next video. Please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you. Damn, man. Poor children, Sorry. The end of the video now. Damn poor children.